All right, Shalom. I want to start off as always by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, B'chaha Kodash. The one is unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love unto the brothers out there doing his work in truth and sincerity, and also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And in this morning's lesson, I wanted to read the book of John, chapter 10, verse 22 down to verse 30. And I'm doing this lesson in response to the apostasy that we see here amongst Israel. Individuals switching up the doctrine, and ultimately just a bunch of madness going on. But the point of this whole lesson is that the elect will follow Yahweh Shai. The elect will follow the truth, okay? Regardless. You can have 1,000, 100 million false prophets. The elect will not follow a false prophet. And if they are following a false prophet, right, a guy who's teaching lies, eventually they'll come up out of it. Eventually they're gonna say, hey, no, man, this don't sound right. It's not sound in the spirit. And of course we get into the end, we're gonna see this, okay? The MOTB prophecy is a very important prophecy. That if you're an Israelite in this thing, that is something that you gotta know about, bro. Correctly, okay? And other things. But that MOTB is major. Because that's gonna cause a great divide in Israel. You just might have individuals who got the MOTB and you know still trying to call themselves preaching. Or whatever, you know. That could happen, man. But you can't deceive the elect. The Lord's chosen. They will not be deceived by you false prophets. So if you see an individual out there, you know, who just being ridiculous and following false doctrines, hey man, let them be. It is what it is. But those who are the elect, right? The hopeful elect, those who are of Yahweh Shai, they're gonna follow Yahweh Shai, and they can't be moved from Yahweh Shai. All right. So getting into this here, this is John 10:22. It says, and it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication, and it was winter, which is pretty much talking about Hanukkah. All right, the event that took place in the book of Maccabees, right? When our forefather fought against the Greeks to pretty much preserve the temple, right? It says, and Yahweh Shah walked in the temple and Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long doest thou make us to doubt? If thou be the anointed, tell us plainly. So they were seeking, you know, hey man, no more parables, you know, no more dark sayings. Just tell us plainly if you are the Messiah. And this is what Yahweh Shai said. Verse 25 says, Yahweh Shai answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. So Yahweh Shai said, I told y'all that I was the Messiah. Okay? And he declared that he was a Messiah by the works that he was doing, man. All right, the Father was working through him, performing miracles, man. Doing things that man hasn't seen. All right? So the power that Yahweh Shai possessed showed that he was the Son of the Most High. But to some of them jakes back then, that didn't resonate with them. No matter how many miracles he did, right? All the wonderful things that Yahweh Shai did, a 2/3 just couldn't believe. Matter of fact, that's in John chapter 12. I'll grab it real quick. Hold up. Yeah. This is John 12 and verse 37. It says, "But though he had done so many miracles before them, yet they believed not on him." So they saw Yahushua performing the miracles, man, doing great things. Okay, but even with that, they did, bro. They still didn't believe, and the reason being is because of prophecy. Okay, it says that the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake, "Lord, who have believed our report, and to whom had the arm of the Lord been revealed?" Therefore they could not believe, because that Isaiah said again, "He had blinded their eyes and hardened their heart, that they should not see with their eyes, nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them." So they couldn't believe because of prophecy, even though Yahweh Shah showed them the power, right? The power that he possessed, it wasn't, a sum of man, okay? Because man couldn't do what he, was doing. The Most High was with him doing the works, man. But the Lord had a spirit on them people, bro, to where they're like, you know what? Yeah, nah, which is crazy. And guess what? It's the same thing today. The Lord has a spirit on certain individual to just not get the truth, bro. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, it's written for them not to get it, right? It says, it says, um, it says, verse 26, "But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you." So they couldn't get it because they wasn't of Yahweh Shai's sheep. No matter what he did, they was not of the elect, so they wasn't going to understand his mission, his word, nothing. Okay, they were going to be opposed to it. It's the same thing today. It says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." There's a video on YouTube, man, of a shepherd and his sheep. And they have different people going up trying to call to the sheep so that the sheep can come to them. But the sheep did not understand their voice. But when the shepherd came up and made his call to the sheep, they all came running towards him. And that's a good example of the elect coming to Yahweh Shai. They're going to believe the word, man. Okay, they're going to believe the truth. Okay? They're going to hear it and come to Yahweh Shai. Right? It says, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hands. So the elect were given unto Yahweh Shai by the Most High. Okay? You can't pluck them out of Yahweh Shai hand. You definitely ain't plucking them out of the Most High hand. So if you see a guy following a false doctrine, man, just being ridiculous, more than likely he's not of the elect. Plain and simple. And the elect won't be wooed by these false doctrines. Guess what? They're gonna be caught by what Esau doing in this world, because Esau gonna deceive a lot of people, man. He's already deceiving them. But especially when AI gets here, which is already here, but when it get on the level of AGI and ASI, to where you can't tell real from fake. All right, robots and all kind of craziness, man. That's gonna put a lot of witchcraft on people. right? But as for the elect, they're going to stick with Yahweh Shai, man. Point blank and period. So, Lord willing, those edifying, man, I close out there. Once again, we give our praise and glory to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.